Welcome to Strength in the Numbers. My name is Andrew Codd, accountant, author, and commercial finance entrepreneur, and it's my job each week to bring you leaders in finance and business and deconstruct with them their real stories, insights, and hard-won lessons into practical advice on the key strengths and qualities you need to remain relevant in accounting and finance today, as well as the steps you can begin to take to elevate the impact you make to have a fun, successful, and rewarding career in accounting and finance. Now let's go over to the show.
Whether you're working as a one-man band and working with clients, or whether you're working in industry, wherever it is, there is so much value you can add because everyone's in a state of flux and everyone's confused, and you're the ones that can really clear the path, if you like, go through the choppy waters and help with being a calm and confident accountant, and just helping people with forecasting and scenario planning. And there's just so many things that accountants can be doing right now, and it's just a hugely exciting time, and embrace it, I would say.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's Strength in the Numbers show. Now, you've just heard from today's guest mentor, Andi Lonnen, and Andi's career is a little unusual in that, having found herself in group financial controller and commercial finance director roles, Andi then decided to undertake a 1,400-mile or 2,500 kilometre solo cycle camping tour from the Austrian border of Switzerland via the Swiss and French Alps, the Champagne region, all the way to Calais on the northern coast of France, and along the way wrote a book and blog about her experience before then using that as fuel to take on a career as a successful financial trainer internationally, as well as a speaker and author. Now, one of the things that I was most interested in speaking with Andi about is her 9 C's framework. So, out there at the moment, there's a lot of talk around what things we should be doing to be a modern finance professional. Well, Andi helps reduce some of that overwhelm about what we're being told and why we should be good at this and that by laying this out in a 9 C's framework or formula. So that's definitely something that you'll get a lot of value from in this episode. And also on this podcast, we talk about why now is the age of the accountant, why it's also important to enjoy the journey, and Andi shares some fantastic practical experiences and examples from her own career so to help you enjoy that journey even more. Look, you'll quickly get from this podcast that Andi is very upbeat, enthusiastic, brings a lot of energy. And if you do want to continue the conversation with her, review some of the show notes or key quotes and the resources she mentioned, they're all available on our website, sitnshow.com. And as always, we really appreciate it when you leave a review, comment on the post, or let your friends and colleagues know about us. We're on all the major platforms: iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Spotify. And we really appreciate you investing time with us today. So without further ado, over to Andi and the show. So Andi, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you, Andrew. It was great to be here.
It's great to have you on our show, and I really enjoyed our conversations previously. And for our audience, may not be familiar with your background, so would you mind maybe sharing a brief story behind your journey in accounting and finance, please?
Yes, of course. Yes. I currently run a company called the Finance Training Academy, which also looks after the Finance Business Partner Academy. And this was after a 20-year career in finance, right through from a junior accountant, right through to a commercial finance director level. And I actually set up the company after leaving a job that perhaps wasn't working out quite as well as I'd hoped for me. And I took off and did a solo cycle tour across Switzerland and France one summer. And that's what helped me take the leap into the world of supporting accountants and helping them with their own journeys, really.
That's an interesting one, Andi, because I think a lot of people might think about this, going out and sort of running their own business. And you went from a scenario where perhaps, things might have working out in your own mind, and you still wanted to go back and support accountants. I mean, what made you want to go and continue to support our profession?
Firstly, it's something that I knew. Secondly, I think it's something that we probably all struggle with to a greater or lesser degree. I was so fortunate to, in one particular role I had, to have this incredible finance director who really, really believed in me, and what a difference that makes, because you really start to believe in yourself. And I really genuinely believe in the abilities of all accountants out there. And so many accountants are so battered, so deadline driven. not necessarily the most popular people in most organizations, which is ridiculous actually, because accountants really help save organizations, keep organizations safe and sustainable. They do such incredible work, and so much of it is behind the scenes. And I just really want them to know how amazing they are and what an incredible skill set they have that really contributes to the success of an organization. It's genuinely amazing to really help people with their light bulb moments, help people gain confidence in what they're doing and the difference that they're making. It's amazing. It's an incredible journey.
So I suppose we do operate in a very privileged position and have that opportunity to go do that. I also want to talk about your cycle journey.
Yes.
I mean, Switzerland, what possessed you to go do that? I mean, were you always into cycling, or just something you just went and did?
I've loved cycling for a number of years, and I did the famous Land's End John O'Groats route with my dad actually back in 2007, and I just got hooked on cycle touring. I used to do it in group, but I think I just needed to get away a little bit and just clear my head. So I just decided I just packed my bags, packed my panniers, and carried my tent and everything. Got loads of maps. And by the way, anyone who knows me will tell you I cannot read a map, and I made it from the far side, the Austrian side of Switzerland, across the Swiss Alps, the French Alps, the Jura Mountains, the Vosges Mountains, all the way up to Calais, where I got a bus back with my bike to the UK. Incredible.
On the mountains as well, like I don't know, if I was trying to get away from it, I wouldn't probably want to be having that type of terrain. But I mean, you must have seen some amazing things along the way.
Oh, some amazing. Oh, gosh, it's just so beautiful. If you love mountains and that sort of thing, it's just extraordinary. And the people that you meet, the support that I got on the road from this lovely lady. I was cycling along and she was just hobbling out of her house. She looked 100 years old and she just raised her fist in the air and said, "Bravo!" It just things like that were so amazing and just kept you going. Yeah, it was it was a wonderful trip. I'm still living off it. I think I did that in 2012.
Oh my god! I don't know. I'm delighted. I'm delighted. It just seemingly so far from being caught behind a desk, and yeah, definitely, that's definitely getting out there to nature, into the real world. So, though, thanks for sharing that story, Andy. I can sort of see you're very passionate about our profession. I mean, what's exciting you most about your current work?
I think at the moment, this is something we've talked about previously, is just the extraordinary time of opportunity for accountants right now. It really is one of the most exciting times we've had in the last couple of centuries, because accounting hasn't changed much, literally in the last few centuries. And now with digital happening, to me, it's the age of the accountant. This is where accountants really come to the fore. And I know some accountants, quite understandably, because it is a period of change, are a little bit nervous or a little bit unsettled. But actually, please know this, that it really is a time of tremendous opportunity to really show what you can do, to really develop the skill set, to really contribute to your businesses, to your organizations, wherever you work, whether you're working as a one-man band and working with clients, or whether you're working in industry, wherever it is, there is so much value you can add, because everyone's in a state of flux and everyone's confused, and you're the ones that can really clear the path, if you like, go through the choppy waters and help with being a calm and confident accountant, and just helping people with forecasting and scenario planning. And there's just so many things that accountants can be doing right now, and it's just a hugely exciting time, and embrace it, I would say.
I would encourage your sentiments there, Andy. Definitely to embrace it, but I do feel that for some people, as much as it's overwhelming for the businesses and our stakeholders out there as well, I think it's a lot of overwhelm for, I suppose, those in our profession too.
Yeah.
And I know you were sort of giving some sort of suggestions there on areas where we could actually look to go and add value on and develop the skill set, so that the forecasting, making sense of everything that's going on, the choppy waters. I love your expression, the age of the accountant.
Yeah.
How come, what things could we be doing, like in your mind, if you've got a sort of any frameworks or whatever that we could sort of say, yes, we do these sort of things, we will help realize this age of the accountant?
Yes, we do actually. Something we help with is something called our finance business partner formula. And even though we call it finance business partner, it's professionals who wish to add more value. And it's a framework, it's a formula just to try and help. There's so many skills that people are bandying around. We need to think about this, we need to think about that. And that's where the overwhelm can come. So we came up with this framework that's 9 C's. So words beginning with C. I'm happy to go through them just quite briefly to help people understand the type of skill sets we need to be thinking about. Will that be helpful?
Yeah, let's do it. Love to, Andy.
Yeah, let's do it. So the first C, which will come as no surprise to anyone, is communicating financial information effectively. So this does not mean flinging numbers at people. It's telling the story behind the numbers so that people can understand and everyone can join in the financial conversation. So this communication piece, keep working at simplifying your communication, almost at removing numbers from communicating with non-finance people. Get the story, help them with the story, help them understand, help them with the next C, which is connecting and collaborating with people. So really building those relationships, partnering with others in the organization or partnering with your clients to help them grow their businesses, help them know what they need to do. Because what's obvious to you as an accountant is not obvious to other people. They're not trained. They don't have your training and qualification and experience. So connection, collaborating, being clear on strategic goals, being a clear strategic thinker. So really thinking about what you're in business to do, what your organization is there to achieve at the top level, and staying focused on this key purpose to help really focus what work you're doing and how you can add value. Where are you adding value into? You need to know what the strategic goals of the organization are. Being more commercial, people will hear this all the time and wonder what it means. I need to have more commerciality, more commercial acumen. And it's basically understand the business, understand what business you're in, understand what other people do, go shadow them, go talk to them, join their team meetings, go and find out what else is happening in your industry. And this doesn't have to be overwhelming. That you don't have to, I know how busy accountants are. I've done it for 20 years. I work with accountants day in, day out, and I know what deadlines they've got. This is just listening to what's going on. It's just getting away from the desk sometimes and talking to other people, joining in a meeting, maybe reading a bit of trade journal on a train or listening to a podcast in a car. And so on. And being a change agent and challenging the status quo is the next C. So it's not change for change's sake, but it's just challenging the way things are done around here, and not doing that like a bull in a china shop, but doing it in a constructive way. There's another C. There are so many words that we could. It's hard to just narrow it down to 9. So thinking about what change is required. Is it, things done because they've always been done this way, and it's gently helping yourself and nurturing other people along the change curve, if you like, as well. Computer, digital, of course, has to come in here. And I know lots of accountants really embrace technology, which is fantastic. A lot don't, and that's okay, but just recognize that in yourself and then think about what would make it more comfortable to learn more about computer and digital. There's so many resources out there at the moment to help you on this journey. Next C, curiosity.
That's a big one.
That will help with everything else, really. Curiosity, creative and can-do attitude, really important. Calm, confident and in control. It's so easy to be overwhelmed. It's so easy to get dragged down with it all. And it's just becoming more personally resilient so that you are in a place of calm to help people and make decisions and support yourself to be able to support others. And the final one, which I hope is an obvious one, is being a competent finance professional. You can't help other people with finance unless you know finance.
It's sort of people just assume that sort of thing, but that's completely right. It's and Andy, just thinking about all of them, I mean, there's 9. Some people think there's a lot there, but like, I mean, do you have any sort of recommendations on how people sort of use these? I mean, do they go and try and be good at all of them, focus on one? I mean, is there a good way of trying a pace maybe, or cadence to develop in each of these 9 C's?
Yeah, that's such a good question. We're about to launch our online Finance Business Partner Academy, and on there it's a completely free resource. There's a self-assessment quiz that you can take, and it's 3 questions under each of the 9 C's, and you score yourself. And you can do this yourself. It is a self-assessment, but you can do it with your boss. You can do it with partners that you work with as well to get a true picture. Then you can find out areas where you're already quite strong, so keep doing it, and areas where you might need to strengthen and areas to focus on. So you can do it in a systematic, step-by-step way and look at where needs to improve. And tying that into strategic goals as well. So really thinking about, okay, well, the business needs this. This is where I'm strong. This is where I'm weak. So where on this, using your professional judgment, do you need to develop first to contribute, to make more of a contribution?
Yeah, I think that's a very good way of tying it in, because it's got to be sort of like some sort of reason. Good reasons lead to good results. So if you've got a good reason for doing something and you can see the path, maybe it's supporting a strategic aim in terms of, I don't know, going to find some extra gross margin because that's what the business needs.
Yeah.
Or looking how to, I don't know, better engage or hold meetings perhaps with business partners, communicate, get the message across to them, those sort of things. Again, I can sort of see how that would tie. So that's really great advice, Andy. Thank you for that. And I suppose then maybe looking ahead from beyond now, I mean, so what would be your priorities in the coming months?
It's definitely to really go for it with the Finance Business Partner Academy. We want to support accountants around the world in this time that can be a bit more unsettling, can be confusing, can be really exciting as well. So whichever category you fall into, we want to help, we want to support everyone. All our trainers and speakers that we work with, they're all former finance directors or senior finance people, so they know what it's like. They've been there, some of them are still doing it. We'll talk to lots of experts, just really help support accountants around the world to really be making this difference and strengthening their organizations. And, ultimately, when you look at it, ultimately, it's strengthening economies. When accountants are doing their job really, really well and contributing to the success of their organization, that's contributing to the success of their local economy. And that, to me, it's amazing to join those dots and think of the difference that you are making. You're not just doing a reconciliation, you're not just doing a report, it's thinking of the bigger difference, tying into the bigger outcome, if you like. I really do believe in that. So it's a huge focus for us over this next 12 months.
I think we're very, very kindred spirits on that one, Andy, because again, that's why the number was, the show was called Strength in the Numbers. It's just that sort of, when you step back from it, you sort of think, okay, I could probably make an impact in my organization, or maybe within my finance, but if you think about it, our impact is broader than that. If we get our organizations operating in a more sustainable manner, then that's good for our community. It's good for jobs. It's good for reinvestment. It's then sort of good for society and broader our economies and really the world. We have a fantastic opportunity to drive decisions in the right way. I mean, today there's still too many businesses that are failing, and with the skills and access to knowledge, you mentioned, you've got free resources, accounting institutes, and other websites, podcasts as well. All free resources. The help is out there, the support is out there if we go access it.
Yeah, use the resources available to you. You don't have to, I'm a training company and I'm saying this, you don't have to go on expensive training courses. Look around, look at what's available, learn from role models, network. If I can say, I think the thing that really catapulted my own career as I was becoming more senior and as I was aiming for the finance director role was actually volunteering to sit on an ACCA network panel. And I was really scared of doing it. It's like, oh my gosh, what can I contribute? And then I loved it. And it was again, we were putting on evening events for accountants, networking events and so on. And the real benefit that gave me was just learning so much from other people in different organizations. It really broadens your own thinking, and you take that broader thinking back to your own workplace. So that volunteering piece, that costs nothing. I know it's a bit of your time, but just think how fulfilling this will be for your career and the difference you want to make. It will really pay dividends for you, and it can be in any form. I use that as an example. That's what helped me. But we've got the internet, you've got Andrew's podcast that you're listening to right now, the Strength in the Numbers podcast. Use your accounting bodies as well. They have so many resources and webinars, so things that don't have to take much time. And use your favorite things. If you like reading, there's plenty to read. If you like listening, you can listen. If you want to watch, then you can watch videos. Use the resources available to you.
I think there's no one size fits all within this. Is probably knowing yourself. That's why I like your sort of I got to call it diagnostic tool or questionnaire, or whatever. But the essence is it's understanding ourselves better. If we understand ourselves better, how we learn our strengths, then we can go and help drive more value and make a bigger difference for those around us.
Yeah. So. Yes. 100%. Yeah.
So Andy, look, really appreciate the great advice you've been giving us. I was curious though. I mean, what's been the best bit of advice you've ever received?
Oh my gosh. I think probably enjoy the journey. Because sometimes it can really suck. But there's something someone said quite recently, actually, and she said, everything happens for you, not to you. And it was like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Everything happens for you, not to you. So sometimes when you're going through a really tough time at work, and I've got an example that I can immediately think of. There was one place I worked where I had a really bullying boss. Now, some people listening to this will completely relate to that. Really seriously bullying. I was in tears all the time. And so were lots of other people. She was really, really quite unpleasant. And she did get the sack in the end. They were very strong and they did get rid of her. But I was already looking for other things anyway. But the thing was, what I realized was the learning from that, it did make me a stronger person and understand my boundaries of what's not okay. And it's finding the way to speak to people and say, look, that's not okay that you're talking to me like that. So going through a bad experience does make you stronger. And just remember to enjoy the journey, because time goes so fast. And enjoy your career, enjoy the difference you're making, celebrate every little thing that goes well. Someone said thank you. How many people say thank you these days? Someone sent you a lovely email. Keep it, celebrate it, enjoy the journey. I think it just keeps you positive, it keeps you focused, it keeps you resilient, and it helps in the bad days. You can pull those thank yous out the drawer and remember to be enjoying the journey. So that would be, I think that's the best piece of advice I've ever received.
That's fantastic advice, Andy. And I love the way there was the reframe that you did as well there. I had never heard it like that. Things happen for you as opposed to you. Never heard that before. That's it really just put a different spin on it and allows us to enjoy the journey.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, so thank you so much for that. And I suppose, you mentioned some resources already. If you were to perhaps maybe recommend any other resources our audience check out, what sort of things would they be, or where could they access them?
I think I love reading, so I love reading books. I suppose a finance book that I really loved was called Reaching the Top in Finance by a lady called Sally Percy. I'd recommend that one. A broader business book, my absolute favourite, is the one by James Caan, who used to be on Dragon's Den, and his book's called From Brick Lane to Dragon's Den. And if you want to learn to be how someone who is very strategic and creative, how they think, read that book. It's fantastic. I just love the way he did things so differently. He's got some great advice in there. So that's great business advice, which helps because as an accountant, you are a business professional. That's something else I'd recommend. Yeah,
I'm an absolute sucker for business autobiographies or way people have thought. So I'll definitely be checking those out there. Andy, so thanks for those recommendations, and we'll put those into the show notes also. Should our audience wish to continue the conversation, where's the best place to connect with you at?
It's the best place at the moment is the Finance Training Academy. So they can simply email us there, which is Andi.Lonnen, Lonnen, at financetrainingacademy.com. Come to the website, and within a few short weeks, we'll have the Finance Business Partner Academy launched as well, which is financebusinesspartneracademy.com.
Well, look, I want to sort of say all the best with launching that. I know the sort of the feelings and the work that goes in behind the scenes to make these things happen. So best of luck with that, and I can't wait to see it. So please let us know how that goes, and also I suppose look, you've been a fantastic guest for us, Andy. Some great advice. Thank you for taking us through the 9 C's. And I think we're going to title this podcast probably something like The Age of Accounting, because I think you've nailed it on that. I think I do believe we are there. I mean, would you perhaps have any parting thoughts for our audience?
Keep developing those personal skills. 100%. We do have a bit of a sales piece to do when you think about the perception that others have of accountants, and you're all such lovely people with so much to contribute. So keep developing those personal skills, and best of luck. I look forward to hearing how everyone is getting on with this.
Yes, yes. Andy, thank you so much for investing your time with us today on the show and appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much, Andrew. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you for having me.
So there you have it. Hope you enjoyed today's show. If you'd like to know more about our guests today, their bio, and follow up on the resources mentioned during the show, you can find all the relevant links and more at sitnshow.com. There you'll also be able to get access to earlier shows, read the latest blogs. There's also an opportunity to subscribe to our newsletter, which will give you heads up as to when the next show is coming out, latest events, news, and anything that's going to be relevant to help you have a fun, rewarding, and successful career in finance and accounting. And just before you go, we really appreciate your feedback. If there's something we can do better on the show, something that's not working, or something you'd like to see, even a guest you'd like for us to invite onto the show, someone who you think might be able to benefit you more and also the rest of our community, please let me know. You can email me. I'm at andrew@sitnshow.com, or feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Just drop me a message so I know how you found me and we can connect. And really, it's our community that'll make the show. If we keep engaging and driving each other on, we'll keep on building our strength in the numbers. When all is said and done, if we can do the numbers better and finance better, we'll create more opportunities for ourselves, our friends, our families, our communities, and our businesses. So until next time, have a good rest of the week, take care, and let's keep building our strength in the numbers.